The story begins with a man named Barry who comes home carrying several bags full of cash. Seeing the massive amount of money, Barry gets worried. Where is he supposed to keep all of it? His entire house is already packed and there's not even space left to bury it.
Eating Samsonites, 4 buried in the woods behind my house.
Every spot he digs up already has money buried underneath. So Barry decides to hide the money in the horse stable. But the moment he opens the door, piles of cash come crashing down on him. But Barry didn't always have this kind of money. A few years ago, he was just a regular pilot working for an airline. He had a beautiful girlfriend and was pretty happy with his life. Barry thought everything would stay that way forever. Simple and joyful. But then trouble came knocking out of nowhere. One evening, when Barry returned to his hotel to relax, a bearded man showed up to meet him and started blackmailing him.
Barry Seal.
Yes, that's the name of our pilot. The stranger claims to be from the CIA and knows everything about Barry's illegal side business.
You're smuggling cigars.
It turns out our pilot meets with Cuban immigrants on Thursdays and smuggles their goods into Canada and the United States. The man introduces himself as Schaefer and suggests Barry quit smuggling and start working for the government.
You're CIA.
Shh.
At first, Barry laughs it off, but eventually, he agrees.
Oh, this is legal?
If you're doing it for the good guys.
Now Barry has his own plane, and not just any plane, the fastest twin-engine aircraft in the world. What a gift! However, the plane also has a camera installed.
Takes pictures?
Barry's mission is to fly over Central American countries where rebels are fighting against the American-backed regime and record everything he sees.
The real work is covert.
Is it dangerous? Extremely. Does Barry agree? Of course he does. At home, our pilot tells Lucy about his new job. Of course, he doesn't reveal what he'll really be doing.
Logistical support for airports.
That's right.
That same day, Barry quits his official job at the airline. Now he flies over Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala, filming the locations of various military installations and guerrilla camps. At that time, the Cold War was raging between the US and the USSR. Barry often flies so low over the rebel camps that he becomes an easy target for enemy fire. But our pilot isn't afraid. After all, that's how he gets the best photos. The CIA is very pleased with his work, and Barry asks for a raise.
Does this mean I get a raise?
Schaefer agrees and suggests that Barry go to Panama. Our pilot now works as a courier, delivering envelopes containing valuable information.
The CIA was so happy with my work, they gave me another job.
1 year passes, then another, and then a third. Barry has a daughter, and later, a son. He manages not only to excel at his job, but also to cook breakfast for his kids. The perfect father.
And those pancakes are up.
One day, a red car pulls up beside Barry, and 2 unknown men take him to a luxurious country mansion. There, a local drug lord offers him a deal.
Thank you for coming to see me.
Barry can fly wherever he wants, but only if he agrees to transport illegal substances from Colombia to the United States.
I'm a businessman.
The problem is that exporting such cargo is extremely difficult and dangerous. The Colombians are willing to pay Barry $2,000 for each kilogram of white powder.
We'll pay you $2,000 per kilo.
Naturally, Barry agrees. He meets his new employers, Jorge Ochoa, Carlos Leder, and Pablo Escobar. However, there's one small problem. All the other pilots are constantly crashing on their short runway. The runway is too short, but Barry is proud and confident. He's sure he can handle it where others have failed.
Trees and mountains on both sides.
Barry also refuses to fly his illegal cargo directly into the U.S. Instead, he suggests dropping it mid-flight over Louisiana. He even shows them a hidden compartment on board.
Right there is your $1 million door.
The men agree. Immediately, the Colombians start rolling carts full of cargo toward the plane. Barry ties the boxes to safety harnesses and loads them aboard. But they keep bringing more. And Barry begins to get nervous, and he already has 300 kilograms of powder on board.
It ain't about room, all right? It's about weight.
He accelerates to maximum speed, praying to lift off before the runway ends, and he succeeds. The first flight is a success. Barry reaches Louisiana, descends, and drops the boxes containing the illegal cargo. Escobar's agents are already waiting for him there. The Colombians, overjoyed, celebrate the successful operation and hand Barry a bag stuffed with cash. At that moment, American troops storm the mansion. Everyone is immediately arrested, but the Colombians are quickly released. Schaffer comes to Barry and helps him get out of prison. It turns out a revolution has broken out in Nicaragua and the communists have come to power. Wanting to overthrow the communists with the help of local anti-regime fighters called the Contras, the U.S. president turns to the CIA for help. That gives Barry a new job. The first thing our hero decides to do is get his family out of Louisiana.
We're moving.
He arrives home, wakes his wife and children, and demands they pack immediately. They head to the small town of Mena, Arkansas. With Schaefer's help, Barry acquires a house with broken plumbing, a huge parcel of land, and a private airfield. A CIA agent shows Barry crates of weapons containing hundreds of Kalashnikov assault rifles.
This was the deal? Or would you rather be in a Colombian prison?
Barry's task is to deliver these weapons to Nicaragua. Schaefer hands Barry a folder with flight charts and a bag of money that Schaefer had left in Colombia. Barry returns home to find Lucy furious.
Fuck, Barry!
She attacks her husband. She's pregnant with their third child and is outraged by the sudden move and the terrible living conditions in their new home. Barry confesses to his wife that he works for the CIA, throws several wads of cash on the floor, and hands Lucy a bag stuffed with dollars. Now Barry is transporting Kalashnikovs to Nicaragua so the Contras can fight the communists. In truth, these fighters care more about glasses and boots than guns. But CIA orders must be followed. To win the Contras over, Barry delivers them various gifts, including alcohol. There, he reconnects with an old friend, Jorge Ochoa.
What the hell are you doing here?
Ochoa proposes a new illegal business scheme, and Barry immediately agrees.
We have a new business proposition to you, Barry.
The plan: deliver some of the assault rifles to Colombia, hide illegal white powder inside them, and then ship the loaded crates to a Contra training camp. These men are already moving illegal cargo into the U.S. by boat.
Contras hid the coke in fishing boats and sailed it up to Miami.
Barry dumps some of his merchandise into a Louisiana swamp, following the same old scheme. The illegal trade continues to grow, and Barry recruits new employees.
The operation got so big, I had to get some help.
These pilots also transport weapons to Latin America and bring back the white powder.
I called these boys my snowbirds.
One day, Schaefer visits Barry again and announces that a Contra training camp is being built on Barry's land. Barry's task is to bring the bravest guys from South America there. Schaefer agrees and keeps bringing more and more Contras to the mine.
Hang on. We're supposed to have 15. I'm only counting 12 here.
However, many of them don't want to fight and end up running away. Still, some of them receive training in military tactics and weapons handling. Barry goes to the bank to open a cash account, buys his wife a luxury car, and registers several shell companies. But he has so much money that it's impossible to manage. It seems like it's everywhere. His business keeps expanding as he constantly transports weapons and drugs. Barry introduces Lucy to his Colombian friends.
Lobsters!
Parties non-stop, opens accounts at nearly every bank in the country, buries bags of cash in his yard, and buys kilos of gold. It's a dream come true. One day, Lucy's brother JB shows up at their house. Barry gets him a job as a janitor, but the sneaky guy quickly finds a bag of cash in the hangar, buys himself a car, and brings home a girlfriend. Later, Barry and his men are chased by the Drug Enforcement Administration, who order him to land.
You were in violation of the Air Defense Identification.
Barry refuses and keeps flying over the ocean until the DEA runs out of fuel. Meanwhile, the FBI starts investigating. There's just too much money flowing through the small town of Mena, and they need to figure out who's behind it. Why are there suddenly so many banks in such a tiny place? Barry is once again trying to outrun drug enforcement planes. He crash lands on a highway, stumbles out of the wreck covered in white powder, and trades a wad of cash for a bicycle from a local teenager, allowing him to make a quick getaway.
You never saw me.
Authorities later find 200 kilograms of illegal drugs on board his plane. Schaefer is furious. Meanwhile, a full-blown war breaks out in Colombia, forcing Pablo Escobar's cartel to shut down its operations.
The cartel found themselves kicked out of Colombia.
Escobar and his men relocate to Nicaragua. Meanwhile, JB gets caught by the police with a suitcase full of cash.
Stop running!
Lucy begs Barry to save her brother, and Jorge promises to help. Barry pulls JB out of police custody and orders him to leave the country immediately.
Besides a passport, first-class ticket to Bora Bora, and enough cash.
But the guy is both stupid and stubborn. He throws a tantrum and demands that Barry send him huge sums of money every week. Moments later, JB gets into his car, starts the engine, and the car explodes. Asshole! Barry instantly realizes the Colombians are behind it. He covers up the crime scene and returns home. The next day, Schaefer shows up.
What now?
Schaefer demands an explanation for how the Contras' weapons ended up in Colombia and declares their partnership over.
Hey, Schaefer. Fuck's Schaefer.
Back at the office, he orders his staff to destroy every document linking the CIA to Barry Seal.
To put anything with Barry Seal's face or name.
Barry also tries to get rid of all incriminating evidence but doesn't have time. The FBI, DEA, and state police are all closing in on him.
Everybody's friends here. DEA, all right? State police. FBI.
He's facing life in prison when the phone suddenly rings.
What the hell you mean he's free to go?
It's Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton demanding Barry's release. Barry is taken straight to the White House. The authorities need proof that the communists in Nicaragua are trafficking drugs, and Barry is the only one who can get it. He's sent on a covert mission to gather hard evidence. Together with another agent, Barry flies to Nicaragua and meets with Escobar and his men. At first, the Colombians are suspicious of him, but they eventually relax and load dozens of boxes of cocaine onto his plane. Hidden cameras capture everything, giving Barry a stack of undeniable photos, proving the Colombians' criminal operations. These photos are soon shown on television.
This picture.
Escobar's cartel realizes that Barry has betrayed them and becomes desperate for revenge. The police show up at his home, search the place, and seize everything, leaving the family without a single dollar. Lucy puts on a fur coat and jewelry to keep the police from taking them. She and her children move to Louisiana, while Barry is put on trial and sentenced to 1,000 hours of community service. Barry spends every night in a different hotel, recording his story on camera. He signs each tape, places it in a box, and keeps it in his car trunk at all times.
Maybe I should have asked a few more questions.
He knows Escobar's men could come for him at any moment. Our hero can't run or hide because he must serve his sentence at a homeless shelter.
Oh, thanks. Tell him I gave you that.
One evening, Escobar's men finally track him down.
That this ain't the greatest country in the world.
A gunshot echoes, and Barry Seal is killed. The police later find a box of videotapes in his trunk. Lucy gets a job at a diner, still wearing a diamond-studded bracelet. And that's how Barry Seal's wild true story ends, from pilot to smuggler to CIA asset, and finally, a marked man. If you like this recap, drop a like so YouTube shows it to more people, and subscribe to join our new movie recap journey.